Well, hello and welcome to another edition of On the Horizon. I am Leanne Stair. This is
Brittany Armstrong.
And we are glad that you have chosen to join us for this episode. We have another exciting guest. I'm super excited. It's Sarah Percy. So if you're not aware, Sarah is the lovely and talented, beautiful wife of Mark Percy, who's always behind the camera. Hey, Mark!
He's right over there.
And the mother to Lily and Joy, who are both joys in my opinion. But she does a lot around here, mainly behind scenes, but she likes to teach our children. She's back on Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights. She's joined the Wednesday night team, right?
She does such a good job with the kids.
She's part of our ladies ministry here. Have you done
a little bit with Christmas Dreams?
A little bit, yeah. Some brand ambassadoring, I guess that's a word. Some things like that. So there's a lot that you're doing here in the walls, but we want to talk about what you do outside the walls. And we were just talking before we went live that I haven't really known what she's done since she used to do dialysis a long, long time ago that she doesn't do anymore. So I'm
we're
all
learn
ears to. So what do you do?
So now what I do, I work for an insurance company now.
Okay.
Previously, I worked for a state agency that specialized in special needs children.
Okay.
It's for the Medicaid population and the lower income children. At that time, I worked in the medical foster care department, and I was in a small team that we worked with, starting with foster kids in the DCF child welfare system. And so, the nurses would teach the foster parents how to care for them medically. We would visit them in the home. We had to audit their charts and all the time like that, go to court, do home visits, help either with the reunification process or through the adoptive process.
Okay.
That was when we were still under the state.
Okay.
That all changed when it privatized. So I sought new employment when they privatized to private insurance. A lot of us who were under the state agency were offered jobs with the private insurance company. So now I work for a private insurance company, but still with the special needs population, children 0 to 21, Medicaid, low income. And not in foster, well, it could be in foster care, but the children can have developmental, behavioral, or medical needs. So you start out with cold calling people. Your child has on this insurance. Are you interested in care management services? We do an assessment, see their needs, and then link them to needs either in the community or how can the insurance help them. So that could entail working with the doctor's offices, getting therapies set up, getting equipment set up. It's an ongoing process. It's not a one-time and done. Like, this is not the first time or the last time I'm going to talk to you, for the most part, if the people pick up the phone.
Right.
Some families I talk to every single month. Sometimes it's every 3 months. Years ago, when we started, we could still do regular home visits. We did home visits pretty much for every family. I'd go out, and that would take a long, long time because we'd have to do the assessments in the home, and hopefully the computer worked. And some people are more talkers than others. Some people do not like to talk, and they're very worried about, if I say this, what are you going to do? Now it's more all on the telephone. We're back doing some home visits, but a lot of people still are not comfortable to go out to the home. So
is that due to COVID or just?
It's COVID, but it's also some people are very embarrassed about where they live.
Okay.
It's lower income families. Right. So it could be, and I've been to some of the homes, and that's the same in any job I've worked in social work. Most of the families that I've been involved with the exception of some, they're not your ritzy families.
Right.
They're not the ones with the huge mansions, although there's been some, and it's like, you have Medicaid.
Right.
So, they might be fearful because there's roaches in the house. There's, they have no carpet. It's concrete floors. There's mold on the walls. So, sometimes you can help the families kind of address those issues because they can be obviously affect the children's medical issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really can't meet all their needs. So a lot of times those ongoing calls are just support, you know. Are you able to get to the doctor? Do you need help with transportation? How's school going for your kids? How are your monthly resources? Do you need some help finding food pantries to go to make those ends meet? A lot of times, you know, and he can tell you, I have endless tasks to go through. You know, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It gets exhaustive sometimes.
Right.
You're trying to chase parents to make sure you get all those calls in. You're hoping that the computer works to get your notes in. You're hoping that the phone system works so you can they can hear you and you can hear them. And lately, I've found myself kind of trying to shift my focus away from just doing the tasks to more like, okay, you know, actually listening. Which some days are better than others because it gets long and exhaustive. Like I said, some parents will talk your ears off about whatever. And again, I'm trying to shift my focus. So I'm not an expert on anything. I'm constantly learning more about community resources, about medical needs, about school needs. I'm trying to more connect with these families, especially the ones that I've been working with for longer. Of, you know, I'm a parent too. I'm struggling too. And how can we find some solutions together to get those needs met?
Wow.
And is that for families all over Florida or in a certain counties?
My caseload, they try to, because, you know, we're supposed to offer home visits. They try to keep it within a close proximity of where the care manager lives, because potentially we should be doing home visits. We don't always do it. I have some way down to Osceola County. I don't visit them.
Okay.
A lot of my caseload is centered in Sanford.
So sometimes you do get to see them face to face.
Yes, I have visited some of the families, not all of them, and some of them, you know, 4 years ago I was doing home visits for them, but we're not anymore. Or sometimes
you were saying that because of COVID.
Yeah, sometimes they stop answering the phone. They may have, you know, a lot of them, they're on government phones and they don't pay their minutes and they lose their phone and you can't reach them anymore. You know, you can look through the claims and there's a lot of hospitalizations. Something's going on, but you really can't offer any resources because you really can't get a hold of this person. So that, I mean, that's my day-to-day work. Outside of work, I would love to say, oh yeah, I do all this volunteer stuff too. I don't have the energy after, you know. I do donate money because that's the one thing that I'm trying to do better at, you know, to Second Harvest and Christian Help and Sharing Center. And some of those places that they are the ones that
I was going to ask you, do you go to them?
I was about to say,
I make the referrals to them to say, okay, here's some places in the community that is able to help you. You're going to have to fill out some paperwork, and I can't guarantee you that you're going to get the need that you need. But these are the people that can help you. Because of my profession, it's very difficult because there has to be boundaries, because otherwise I'd be like, you know, I want to give to everything. I go out and buy grocery shopping and do grocery shopping. I can't do that. But so that's why I've been trying to make a better effort of giving to those places that are helping
that
them.
are supporting your clients, basically.
Yeah.
But, well, Sarah, it sounds like your job in and of itself is a full-time ministry position. Oh my goodness. I mean,
Kinda,
yeah. I mean, so I see God using you to just bless these families because to have someone like you interacting is huge. And I would imagine that in social work, a lot of, and I could be wrong here, but that seems like that's got to be a God calling because it's very little pay and a lot of hard work. Why else would anybody do it, right? Except God has just put that on your heart to reach and, you know, to feed the needy and care for those who Doggone it. Who can't care for themselves. So I didn't know you did all that.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
wow.
some days yes, some days no.
Right.
Some days I do reports.
Right.
And you've got to get all your calls and check all your
And that's a lot.
boxes
That's a lot
That's
to do.
part of it.
Yeah.
But
interact with my coworkers and help share resources and kind of help encourage each other through it all.
sure.
Um,
Because it
That's a
would be
good
hard not
point.
to take that on, especially if these are families that you have, spent a lot of time with. You said you've kind of followed them, so you get to know them and see, oh, they're doing good now. No, they're not, and you can't control what they're doing. That's got to be frustrating and heartbreaking and all that all wound up. That's got to be an emotional roller coaster that you are on all the time. So good thing you have Mark at home.
He's my tech support a lot of times. Like, the computer just froze up on me.
So, oh wow. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing. Is there
Yeah.
anything? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
If
I
there
think that's, I mean, I could tell you different things about the different, I've only really had 3 jobs as a social worker, but, we'd be here all day.
And let's not forget your role as a mother. You've
Yes,
got 2
yeah.
teenage girls, so
Yeah.
I know we had mentioned that earlier, but I'm sure they keep you really busy too.
Yes.
Well, thank you,
Thank
for
you,
spending
Sarah.
some time with us today. And I enjoyed getting to know her better, and hopefully you did as well, so you know how to better pray for her. And then if you have a heart that would beat like hers and you want to find out more or see how you can give and be part of what it is that she's doing, she would be more than happy to talk with you about that. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Horizon.